you, it's Steve from the Old Yorkshire Geek. Bit of Star Wars news, and apparently there's no ending planned for The Mandalorian, according to Jon Favreau. So let's have a look at that. This is from Forbes, frightfully posh magazine. Is it? I don't know. Sounds it, doesn't it? But it's an important magazine, I suppose. As usual, links in the description. Don't forget, like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed. I'm also on Rumble and Odyssey and Anchor.fm and Spotify and Amazon Music Podcasts and Google Podcasts. I'm also on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Links are in the description, as are the links to my 2 books. I got them out this time. Mercury Rapids, that one big thick book, look. Ooh, and Silent Predator, a little thin book, as you can see, less than 100 pages. It's all just a bit of fun. Mercury Rapids is a science fiction, light-hearted action adventure about UFOs and stuff. Grey aliens, reptilians, and all sorts of things. Silent Predator's a horror novella about big cats roaming the countryside of northern England. Right. Sorry, I'm a bit hoarse, aren't I? I don't know why. There is no ending planned for The Mandalorian, which seems bad, says Paul Tassi, a senior contributor. Or contributor. Is it contributor or contributor? I don't know. And there's Mando with a bantha. Anyway, if there was one central issue you could pinpoint about Disney's Star Wars plans the past few years, it feels like the main one was that they had no real plan, which they didn't. This was fully on display with the central new Star Wars trilogy, which was not designed a coherent arc, but rather each director of each film was given license to do whatever they wanted. That led to Rian Johnson dramatically changing the direction in The Last Jedi before it was dramatically changed back for The Rise of Palpatine. Making the whole thing somewhat incoherent as a completed whole. It doesn't need to be shoving in a hole, doesn't it? Although I did enjoy The Force Awakens, but that's because it was the first one and set up things. Anyway, you know the story. While The Mandalorian may not have that exact same problem, given that it's one main man leading the storylines, Jon Favreau, it also does not appear to have much of a long-term plan in place that includes some sort of definitive ending or finale for these characters. That's from Favreau himself, who talks about how he wants The Mandalorian to continue indefinitely and that there's no specific end goal in mind, and there's a link for you if you want to follow that. Quote, I think the beauty of this is that it's a middle chapter of a much larger story, Favreau told Total Film. And though we'll have resolution over time with these characters, it's not like there's a finale that we're building to that I have in mind. Quite the contrary, I love for these stories to go on, and so these characters potentially could be with us for a while. I really love telling stories in their voice, and I love the way the adventures unfold, and I'm looking forward to doing much more. And there's Grogu. The Mandalorian has been a bright spot in Disney's Star Wars lineup. It's okay, I wouldn't say it's amazing or anything like that, but it's okay. But I do worry that some cracks are starting to show. The second season ended with Grogu being handed off to Luke Skywalker for training, a storyline that was course-corrected during 2 standalone episodes of the Book of Boba Fett, where Mando and Grogu are reunited after Grogu rejects training if it costs him his relationship with his surrogate father. What are the point in him going off with Luke then? Now we are headed into a continuation of Dave Filoni's Rebels storyline with Bo-Katan, the Darksaber, and the idea of who is supposed to be ruling Mandalore. The show also has some flexibility because it often settles into case of the week mentality, where there's some specific settlement with some specific problem Mando and Grogu must solve. Just come Din Djarin. Even if there's a larger overall arc to the season. It's just, it'll start off and it'll tell you what the season's going to be, and then it'll have a couple of episodes of side missions, and then an episode that continues the season arc, and then more side missions, and then it'll go back to to the season arc at the end. Where were we? But I think having no ending in mind for this saga doesn't feel like the best idea. I mean, you should have some sort of idea, you'd think, wouldn't you? I like Andor, for instance, but I am very glad that series is being packed into 2 coherent seasons. It was supposed to be 5. That have a very clear ending point, the events of Rogue One. I'm not sure I'd like Andor to simply go on forever, as much as I might like it, and we've already seen what a lack of planning does for Disney Star Wars in other areas. I mean, I'm not smarter, not me, I mean, I am not smarter, but the writer of this article. I mean, I'm not smarter or more talented than Jon Favreau, certainly, so I suppose I should just trust what he wants to do. But based on where we've already seen The Mandalorian go, I'm not sure if this strikes me as a series that should simply exist forever. And I also wonder about Pedro Pascal, as given how high profile he's become in the wake of both this show and now The Last of Us, I'm wondering if he's going to want to keep that helmet on for years and years to come as other offers come up. I guess we'll find out. Well, it's kind of a part-time job for the minute, The Mandalorian. It'll turn up. Most of it's from a voiceover booth, isn't it? And then occasionally they might want him, usually towards the end of the season, where he takes his helmet off to show his face. But in season 3, I'm guessing maybe he won't take his helmet off because he's going to Mandalore, isn't he, to redeem himself in the eyes of the children of the Watch, who don't take their helmets off. Which is a bit silly. Not taking your helmet. You've got to take your helmet off sometimes, haven't you? Surely. Don't he ever brush his teeth? I know it's in front. Don't take his helmet off in front of others. But there we go. That's it. So I just thought I'd read that. I thought that was interesting. So there's no plan. Jon Favreau just wants it to go on and on. But you'd think he'd have some idea of where he wants Din Djarin's story arc to go, wouldn't you? You think, I want him to, become leader of Mandalore and then start, a conflict against, so and so, the First Order or whatever, the Imperial Remnant, and then go on and do something else. You'd think he'd have some idea. Maybe he does. I don't know. But anyway, we'll leave it there. Go away, Forbes. I'm not signing up. So there you go. So that's that. There's no plan for Mando. It's just going to go on forever. So basically it's a soap opera then, isn't it? Because they just go on forever, don't they? But we'll see what happens. Right, so thanks for watching. Wherever you are in the universe, look after each other. And until next time, still not got used to that. I'll see thee